Welcome back to Power On Live. We are still here at the Momentum Expo 2, having a great time. Boy, I'm telling you, even in a year, this event has grown by leaps and bounds. The energy here is even better, and speaking of energy, joining us right now is Lars Holm from Eden-INR. Welcome back. You were
Thank
here
you.
last year.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us again.
No, thanks for having the opportunity, giving us the time, because I know you're very busy. You did some presentation earlier, which I want to talk about shortly, but tell us, what is Eden-INR?
So Eden-INR, the INR stands for Information and Referral. And Eden-INR has been in the business of connecting people to resources for more than 4 decades. So very, very deep roots in the community, a lot of housing, but lots of other kinds of human resources as well. So knowledge is power.
And I know that you guys have a database. You compiled a database that helps people who need these resources.
Correct.
Talk about the difficulty in compiling all that information.
It's actually gotten easier now because we're actually using a system that is used by other 211s nationwide. I should probably point out real quickly, Eden-INR predates 211 by quite a bit.
Okay.
But since 2007, we've been the 211 provider for Alameda County.
Okay.
Now, nationally, 211s use databases of various kinds, but there's one standard. It happens to be called iCarol, which is cloud-based. And what's nice about that is that you can do a lot of automatic polling. So in a lot of cases, once you're in our database as a resource, we can periodically, at least annually, send out a message automatically, and you can respond to it and basically update the database more directly.
I see.
Instead of having to have a phone interview to do it.
Right. Well, I can imagine that technology has helped you guys tremendously, right?
Immensely.
Yeah, because I couldn't even imagine doing what you have been doing for, you said, 4 decades.
Yes.
Without the modern technology, so I'm sure it was a lot more laborious back then.
It definitely was. In fact, I remember they were talking about the dot matrix printers you used to have to run things off of, and the forms you used to have to mail to people to fill out to update things. So yeah, it's definitely made a big difference.
Such antiquated terms.
I know.
Dot matrix, mail, and not snail mail, I mean.
Yeah, now it's all about email. And,
right,
you know,
electronic stuff. So you touched on Alameda 211.
Yes.
Tell people, for the people that don't know about it, what is Alameda 211?
So 211, and come by our table if you're here at the event and grab our general flyer, but 211 is a phone number that you can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's free to call. It's completely and utterly confidential. And the very nice phone resource specialists are there to help connect you to the resources that you need. Resources like food, resources like housing, healthcare, holiday giveaways, school, child care providers. I had one gentleman come to me. He was looking for child care for his child who was on the spectrum of autism Asperger's and was having trouble. Tax preparation, that's over with now, but tax preparation for the Earned Income Tax Credit Program.
Wow.
So you name almost anything you can think of that wouldn't be 911, you could call 211 for.
So it's a one-stop shop of information.
Very much.
Non-emergency stuff, of course.
Well, define emergency.
And that's
true. What is your definition of
right.
emergency, right? I mean, being homeless is an emergency. Being without food is an emergency.
Sure.
But it's not the kind of thing you would call 911, right?
Typical 911 call.
Precisely.
Right.
Another way I like to put it is there's an author that I'm very fond of who likes to say that the internet can give you 100,000 answers, but it takes a librarian to help you find the right one.
Interesting.
For human resources, we are that librarian.
Very interesting. I never heard that saying before. I like it.
So
tell us about the presentation that you did earlier today.
Now, the presentation I did ties into 211's other role, which is the fact that we actually help during disasters. So during an emergency, such as an earthquake, fire, flood, zombie apocalypse, you name it.
It could happen.
It could happen. You never know.
Listen, you got to be prepared.
There are things that you still wouldn't want to call 911 about, right? So I actually talked to somebody whose mom was a 911 operator, and she said this actually happens. I want to report an earthquake. Was that, how big was that? Did you guys know there was an earthquake? And that's not really, I mean, unless it's life or death, you really shouldn't be calling 911.
Of course.
But during a disaster, there are still very important questions that you have to have answered. You need to know what to do and where to go, if anywhere. So, are shelters open? Should I shelter in place? Should I go to a shelter? How do I get there? Is BART running? Which freeways are open? I'm coming to the shelter with my pet. I'm not asking, I'm telling you, I'm coming to the shelter with my pet. That happened in the North Bay fires. People came with their pets, people came with their livestock. They're not leaving their animals behind. It's their livelihood, it's their other family members.
It's often more important than other things.
Often more important than other things. I'm special needs. I'm coming to the shelter, but I'm in a motorized wheelchair. I require electricity for an oxygen tank. I have a child who's on the spectrum. You know, and shelters can be very sensory overload kind of places.
Right.
So we're there to basically answer questions like that. Or I'm not going to a shelter, but I need to treat my water to make it drinkable. How do I do that?
That does sound like an emergency.
It's totally an emergency.
Yeah.
It's totally.
So, very interesting. And are there people that still don't know about your service?
Yes.
There are?
Yes. We need a TV show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is part of why you're here.
Exactly.
We are a TV show, and you're
yeah.
here. How other ways are you getting it out there?
Social media, we definitely be taking advantage of events like this because you guys are very strong social media presence.
Right.
So we make sure that we're actually tying into things like that.
Good.
So, I'm sorry, I just realized I didn't answer your question fully. It talked about our role in disasters.
Right.
But our other role is, and another thing that we offer is preparedness trainings.
Okay.
So I do preparedness trainings for schools, for senior centers, for faith-based organizations, churches, synagogues, temples. I do trainings for access functional needs populations.
Wow.
Basically, give us a call. Ask for the fast-talking blonde guy with the odd name. We'd like to have a disaster preparedness training. The topic I did today, we like to call safety kept in place. And this is an alternative to that big, bulky go bag you're often encouraged to make.
Right.
Great idea, but for some folks, it's just too much to do.
It's too cumbersome, yeah.
It's too cumbersome.
Right.
This is small. What do you notice about this?
Well, it's you said the size, but it also includes probably some things that you would need: hand sanitizer, I'm seeing a Sharpie marker, tissues.
And how do you know that's in there?
Well, because it's in a clear pouch.
It's in a clear pouch, right?
So you know what?
Yeah,
See that?
and it's small and it's light. It's very easy to make. I've had seniors tell me they've made this by walking around their unit after one of my trainings, and they drop things in the bag. And I'm not telling people what to put in their bag. We're basically leveraging their brains. It's a brain training.
Right.
It's a lesson in what they like to call divergent thinking. How to be your own MacGyver. How to MacGyver anything to be prepared to make your own kit.
Right, and what's going to help down the road if you need something, and what you need to make yourself comfortable,
right,
and your necessities. So this could be prescription medicine in here.
On the nose.
Yeah.
Eyeglasses, hearing aid things.
Right.
Extra batteries.
If you're a contact, whatever the case may be.
Precisely.
Sure. Wow, and so the clear bag, and it could be a different size bag. It doesn't have to
Absolutely.
be this size. That is fantastic. Yeah.
So that was my training this morning.
Yeah.
And I had a great group because we called it the MacGyver game, and they were thinking outside the box and outside that box again. They were just generating ideas like nobody's business.
And it's probably, I know it's better to do it before there's an emergency, so you can think clearer, you can have some time to really go over it and figure out what you really need and what you really don't maybe. If the bag starts to get too full and heavy, you go, maybe I don't need all this stuff.
Correct. How to minimize things like Marie Kondo might do, right? Yeah,
and sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Is there a list of things that are more, that are used more that someone might be able to look at and go, oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think of...
You want lists, I got plenty of lists, but a large part about this training, it's never the same training twice because it's never the same group twice.
True.
So really our trainings are focused on being fun, on empowering, on positive, on tactical and practical and accessible, and it's really a facilitation. So it's really about me helping you think about this in a way that doesn't stress you out. In fact, makes you feel happier about the time the whole thing is done. And you suddenly realized, okay, I didn't think about that, but yeah, gosh darn it, I need to have that extra hearing aid battery in here. I need to have that piece of family jewelry in here. I need to have that little list of phone numbers in there, things like that.
Because you're never going to find it.
Right.
You're never going to find it during an emergency.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's really also realizing that emergency skills can and probably should be life skills. They're useful for things other than major disasters. And the flip-flop side of that is most people, everybody's got skills that, guess what, are actually handy in an emergency.
Right.
So I go to a senior center, and sometimes the senior's like, well, we're so old, and we're not muscular, and what can we do? But folks, you've got knowledge.
Yeah.
You have knowledge and life experiences I can only dream about. So you can actually help me.
What do they say? The strongest muscle
is right up here. The most important resource is right up here.
There you go.
There's one person I actually knew back in my prior career who was on, she had wrist crutches.
Yeah.
And she actually carried many of the supplies you see in this bag inside the hollow tubes of her crutches.
Oh, come on.
She walked the world prepared.
You're kidding me.
Not totally kidding you at all. In fact, we actually have a YouTube video about that. It's called What's Up Your Crutch? And she's totally ready for stuff like that.
That is a fantastic idea, and what a fantastic name.
It's an awesome name, yeah.
So. All right, Lars, Eric Holm, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Once again,
We'll see
you, Momentum Expo 3.
I'll be there.
Coming up.